excuse me, is your manager present? That my order is wrong. Manager ain't got time to talk to you. Bull. And I spent my mother money in here. What a manager at hoe. Now I got to go there in order to get from you the desired response, which is, how may I help you? Something serious is going on right now. That's our problem as black folks. It be something serious going on, and a nigga is looking for the first joke because that's how we laugh away our pain. We've been so conditioned through centuries of pain that the only way we can process the pain is to look for a punchline. It takes away from the severity of the moment.
I totally disagree.
I know, and that's why you're not a comedian, but you're a consumer.
I totally disagree. One, because I think the person who could laugh and smile in the midst of darkness or pain is the strongest person.
That's a coping mechanism. People that laugh when ain't shit funny, they also call that they also call that a mental defect. You remember Joaquin Phoenix's version of the Joker?
Yeah.
Remember when he was on that bus?
That's a movie though.
No.
That's a movie though. That's acting.
Watch where I'm going.
Okay.
Watch where I'm going. You remember his character?
Yeah.
He had a mental defect that caused him to display all emotion as what? Laughter.
Yeah. When he was uncomfortable,
he would laugh. When he's afraid, he would laugh. When it ain't shit funny, he would laugh. When he's scared, he would laugh. And that's how they have conditioned black people. That is the only acceptable emotion for black folks in America. If you display the fact that you're disgruntled about being done wrong, you're automatically the angry black man. And you bald-headed, and you over 6 feet tall. You's an angry nigga.
That's not the way I see it.
Let a black woman raise her voice in public. She's automatically seen as belligerent. No matter whether or not she's justified in being angry, whether or not she has righteous indignation, that ain't the point. You're angry and you black and you loud and you cussing and you make everybody uncomfortable with your black discomfort.
Listen, I don't see it that way.
You don't see it that way.
So
why is it that when the police peacefully arrest a black person, they require 4 niggas for one person to put the cuffs on? Because they ready for you to turn into angry man on them.
Because they are scared. They are scared. What
are they scared of, Dante?
They have their own insecurities.
You're making my point
they have their own
while
insecurities.
also disagreeing with me. What are their insecurities, Dante?
I don't know what their insecurities. Some people just have insecurities.
Why is it that when a black person,
they're afraid of black people?
Why is it that when black people speak above 20 decibels, it makes people uncomfortable?
I don't know.
For the same reason that the only way you get success is for putting the dress on. You have to minimize yourself to make these other comfortable.
So let me ask you this. The only way you can make your point is by yelling?
Yes.
Why?
Because you need to stop talking while I'm talking. I also have to express passion to the viewing audience.
I know.
They have to see I mean what I'm talking about.
I know, but I'm just talking about in general.
Right, because if we had go back to the tenets of what makes debate.
Yeah.
Go back and watch a presidential debate.
No, I like what you do. I'm not saying don't do that.
I'm just on a psychological level for the people at home that are watching.
Okay.
When a person really means what they say.
Yeah, they got to
furrow their eyebrow. They got to beat the table. No, I did not rape that woman. Y'all killing me with this shit.
But I'm talking about for black women, right?
Right.
When they're upset in public, is the only way getting their point across is by raising their voice above 20 decibels?
Yes.
Why though?
Because the people in power don't respect when the black woman says, "Let me speak to the manager." They only respect when the Cameron comes up in there saying, "Let me speak to your manager."
See,
every black person that has lost their shit in public tried to do it the right way first.
No, you can't say that. You cannot say that generalized statement like that, because
well, you're right, because every is an absolute.
Yes.
The majority of adult black people that have expressed their malcontent in public tried to do things a respectable, polite way first. Excuse me, is your manager present? That my order is wrong. Manager ain't got time to talk to you. Bullshit. And I spent my mother money in here. What a manager at hoe. Now I got to go there in order to get from you the desired response, which is, how may I help you?
But here's my thing. Here's what I want to
Because
tell.
they don't fear you as a black person unless you angry.
No,
they don't.
Why
fear,
do you,
they don't because
see, I hate that.
Because
I hate that.
The reason why is because black people aren't galvanized by anything other than anger.
No.
Bull-
No.
They got to show you black men being accosted in a Starbucks for no reason for niggas to decide we don't spend our money at Starbucks.
Listen.
And then when we decide we don't spend our money at Starbucks, Starbucks is like, we're going to shut down all business tomorrow and have a racial sensitivity training for all of our employees. All right, bitch, now I come back up there and give me some coffee. Because all I wanted you to do was talk to me like I'm the same money spending customer as the white person behind me.
But here's my argument to that, right?
Go ahead.
When you are arguing with somebody who is an employee who's only making $10, $12 an hour,
right? And
then you gonna go, hey, I want to complain to the manager who's only making $17 an hour,
right?
Why are you putting yourself in that situation when you could just say, you know what? Can I just get the corporate's number and go handle it with the corporate? Don't talk to the people who are just employed there.
Because
you don't need to
don't have the same cachet as a disgruntled white woman.
You don't, and that's what I'm saying. You talking to somebody who's making $9, $10 an hour, making minimum wage, gonna argue with them about some fries.
But the white woman argue with them.
You.
The white woman argue with them, and they stop what they doing because they don't. Because they know that if this white woman called corporate, shit is gonna change. Shit is gonna happen. Something is going to happen if this white woman called corporate.
And I guarantee
if this nigga called corporate, corporate is gonna hear this nigga and be like, "Here, nigga."
I guarantee you.
So now I gotta it up in here.
No, you don't.
Corporate ain't gonna hear me.
No, you don't.
So then why do we riot?
Because
then why do black people riot?
Because black people feel like the only way you
gonna hear me,
the only leverage they
shit up out here.
Yes, but here's what you need to understand. Here's what black people need to understand. You hit them in their pockets, right? You hit them in their pockets, and if you go to corporate and you have a discrimination lawsuit, you can call any attorney in America and they're going to take on this large corporation, especially if it's a McDonald's.
You a mother lie. Because Colin Kaepernick got discriminated against right in front of us. And nobody would take his in front of the largest corporation in America, which is the NFL.
And you don't think those attorneys, you don't think he got a group of attorneys?
Who took the case? Name the attorney that took the case. Name the attorney that took the case.
I don't know.
Or did we have to come out with a boycott the NFL movement in order for this man to get a check?
So let's clear it up. He did not sue the NFL for discrimination.
No, he sued the NFL for collusion for discrimination. Which means they were working together to discriminate him.
To not give him a job.
Yes.
Not to discriminate against him, but not give him a job.
Why were they not giving him a job? Because they were discriminating against him for his religious and political beliefs.
No, they wasn't.
Well, why else was the man fired then?
Because...
Why else was the man fired then? Was he fired for not playing football good?
Because...
Was he fired for not playing football good?
I don't know. But...
Now you don't know.
I don't know why. I don't know why he got fired.
You wasn't alive in 2019.
No, listen, I don't know exactly why, but I know.
We know exactly why. You're not finna sit here and play this with me.
I
you
don't
know exactly
I don't know why.
Because that man kneeled during the Star Spangled Banner, which is what a military veteran told him was the most respectful way to show disagreements with what is going on and to make you the most respectful use of his platform, which was to kneel, to show submission during the Star Spangled Banner. It became a whole movement. And to this day, 5 years later, that man ain't got a job in the NFL, although he's been handsomely compensated.
Exactly. But he had to become... Matter of fact, he did take a lawsuit, and they settled. Matter of fact, yeah, I remember. They settled with the NFL.
What was the lawsuit for? For collusion.
Okay, but he settled with.
Do you know what collusion means?
Not exactly.
Okay, so let me break it down for you.
Wait, stop. He did get a lawsuit and he settled.
Stop.
And then
Stop.
The number that he settled for was
stop. Undisclosed.
Yeah.
Stop.
So he did sue.
The reason why you need to stop is because you don't know what collusion means.
It's my understanding of what collusion is the NFL and the NFLPA or the owners are coming together to keep him from actually getting employed with the NFL. Is that definition correct, or is it
for
incorrect?
the most part?
Okay.
So let's just say he was blackballed.
Okay.
By the NFL, and the powers that be all made phone calls to each other. Whatever you do, don't give Colin Kaepernick a job. They did the same thing to Cam Newton. Whatever you do, don't give that nigga a job. Even though there are 32 open companies that he can work for, that he's more than qualified to work for.
But he sued and got paid, though.
Wait a minute.
That was my whole point. With you arguing with the employee at the counter, when you can just go in and get an attorney.
Wrong. You can't just
sue.
go. You can't just go.
You gotta have a case. You have gotta have a case, yes. But if you argue with somebody,
you already know you have a case. You're not stupid. You already know that these people you over simply because they can.
You don't know that.
So rather than go through the time, the money that most black folks don't have to get adequate representation, to really get some changes done in a court of law, you need real big money lawyers for that. The reason why most the jails and the prisons are full of more black people than anything else is because we can't afford representation. So we just sign the plea deal that the public defender tells you to sign. Now, when you sign a plea deal, it hits the records like a guilty conviction. Mm-hmm. So now that this DA looks like he got a 98% conviction rate, when really he's only convicted 40% of the cases that he tried. He convinced the other 68% of niggas to go ahead and sign a plea deal.
But you know there's a difference between...
for everybody that's questioning my math, there's a 10% overhang. You really... Anyway.
You know there's a difference between a discrimination attorney and a criminal attorney.
Yes, there's tort law and then there's criminal law. So I'm aware.
So criminal law, you got to pay up front to fight your case. A discriminatory attorney, he's going to take your case on not consignment, but
contingency is the word that you're using.
Yes, he's going to take it on. He's going to take it on contingency because he's going to look at your case before he even take it on. He's going to say, "Do I have a case?
False.
Did this corporation, do they got big enough pockets where I can put my fee in there?" That's not false.
False.
I deal with attorneys all day.
Yeah, and you're talking about personal injury attorneys and ambulance chasers. When a putting their political capital on the line, when they're putting their entire legal career on the line by suing something like the National Football League, you got to have more than just a contingency case. You have to put that lawyer on retainer. You got to give that nigga money that says that for the next 8 months, all you gonna work on is my case. Here go $50,000. Get your ass to work because he's got billable hours at $100 an hour. You know how much $100 an hour works out to? About $1,200 a day.
Yeah, but I'm just saying those attorneys that take on those discriminatory
cases are they're not
that.
Solely contingency based. Contingency based cases are what happens for personal injury cases. Like this truck hit you. So I'm gonna represent you pro bono, and if you win, then I'm entitled to 33% or more of your settlement because we signed a contingency case, which means that all of my fees are being deferred in lieu of you winning the case. Mm-hmm. But guess what? When it comes to discrimination lawsuits, they know that 9 times out of 10 the shit gonna get thrown out. So I need
settled.
I need recompense.
And settled.
No, not always settled. Thrown out.
Listen.
Thrown out. Thrown out. Like they won't even hear your case.
I know somebody who sued the company that I was working for.
Right.
And before it even got to court.
Right, they settled. Right.
And
the settlement is about 10% of what's sought.
But
so in other words,
they didn't have to pay the attorney.
So that bullshit pay the attorney. They lied to you.
Okay. He may be lied to.
If I sue you for $1 million and you decide to settle for me for $30,000, which is greatly less
Mhm.
than $1 million. That's one thing people need to know. Your settlement is about 10 to 30% of what you originally sought. So, like, let's take P. Diddy, for example. It's rumored that Cassie sued him and he settled for about $30 million.
I heard it was more.
Right. So let's just assume that it's 30.
Mm-hmm.
If he settled for 30, that means she sued him for 100. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the only reason why she was able to get that settlement is because the lawyer was like, hey, this 30 is the best that we're going to be able to get, because he's entitled to 35 to 45% of the settlement. So let's just put a round number on it. Let's say I sue you for $1 million and I settle for 100 bands. 35 of that is finna go to the lawyer before I even see the check, based off the contingency. That was the whole reason why we put such an astronomical number on the lawsuit. So you'd be like, damn, they sued them for $100 million? Yeah, they just put $100 million on it because they know by the time you settle, I'll get 10 about you.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I pay my lawyer 3.5 off of that, I'll walk away with $5 million. And then by the time taxes take that, I got $2 million that I can walk away with. So I sued you for $100 million, but I only got to take home $2.
Yeah.
But that's only if I can prove my case.
Yeah. An attorney is not going to take your case unless...
Because the attorneys and these lawyers is working with each other. These niggas is going to lunch together, and it's like, hey, man, we'll say, look here.
Yeah.
The company is only worth $70 million. So this $100 million, we already know here with this 100. We're going to offer your client $1.5 million, and we're going to take care of their court costs.
Yeah. They already working together, so I already know.
Nigga like, cool.